Welcome back to my 7-part seller series. We've actually covered parts 1 through 7, and this is a bonus episode where we're talking all about seller common questions and also seller myths. So we're tackling that in today's video. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Martin and I am a local Nashville real estate agent and founder of the Caitlin Martin team, powered by 𝐋𝐈𝐊𝐄 Realtors, the Andrews Group. I specialize in working with savvy sellers who want to sell right and sell smart, as well as working with out-of-staters looking to relocate to the Middle Tennessee area. Now, if this is your first time stopping by my channel, thank you so much. Please feel free to click subscribe down below so that you are notified anytime I release new video content, which is every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time. So in today's video, we're tackling common seller questions as well as seller myths. So a few of these have lightly been touched on in previous videos, but again, we're gonna be diving in today and just tackling a couple of them because I really felt like a lot of these were so common that they were absolutely worth addressing in this bonus episode. So one of the biggest seller questions that we get is, how long will it take my home to sell? And that question is not a one-size-fits-all answer, right? Because you have to look at a lot of what we talked about in previous episodes. We have to look at what is the pricing of the home. Is it priced right? Is it being marketed well? Is it in a great location? All of those things. What are the market conditions? All of those things play into how fast it will sell. And so I can't say, oh, your house is gonna sell in 5 days or a week. I can't say that as a general statement. It's all dependent on your home, which when we have those conversations, obviously we'll be taking a look, but you do have to take into consideration the price, condition, location, the marketing, and of course, just what is happening in the market at the time that you are on the market. So when you really take a look at all of those factors, factor them together, take a look at it, that's going to give you that answer in terms of how long should you expect for it to take to sell your home. Now, another common seller myth that we see is that people actually think that they can save themselves money by doing for sale by owner. And so a lot of times people want to do that. They've had bad experiences with agents. They don't want to pay an agent's commission. There's a lot that goes into that. But here's the thing. Not all agents are the same. And so you may have had a bad experience in the past, but that doesn't mean that there's not great agents out there who know how to properly market, how to properly sell your home in a way that you don't even question their value because you find them that valuable. But when it comes to for sale by owners, one of the biggest things to know is that a lot of times, people think real estate's really easy. You watch all the reality shows. It looks like you can just do it. Oh, my neighbor's home sold for this, so mine should sell for this. And here's the thing. People have done for sale by owner and they've done a great job at it. But what we see most of the time with for sale by owners is that they actually end up leaving significant money on the table because the pricing is off. And a lot of times investors or savvy buyers want to target for sale by owners because they feel like they can lowball them and they feel like they don't know as much as, say, a seller that's protected by an agent would know. And so a lot of times money can be left on the table. So in that respect, because an agent knows how to properly price it, knows how to properly market, can potentially, especially in the Nashville market, could potentially still get a multiple offer situation on a home, which would drive up the price. So again, when you're really looking at where for sale by owners land in comparison to if going with an agent, a lot of times where the agent can get that home, it ends up paying for the agent's commission anyway. So it's not that, can people sell it by themselves? Absolutely. But again, a lot goes into pricing, and a home, this is another myth, a home does not sell itself. Because in today's market, in our digital world, I know we talked about this in previous episodes, but where we know that people are looking, a lot of times for sale by owners are going to be very limited in their exposure, which limits the amount of people that comes in, which again, the less traffic that you get, the less there is to generate more competition, which means the offer is not going to be as good as it could be if you had the proper marketing and the proper prep work around the home. And again, a lot of times with for sale by owners, we're seeing poorly done photos. We know the importance of photos from our very first video. So with all of that, a lot of times money is left on the table. So while you may think, yes, you're saving on commission, there's ultimately still money being left on the table. And to some people it matters, to others it may not, because they just don't want to deal with an agent, and that is what it is. But overall, if you're looking at the general stats, for sale by owners leave money on the table by actually not using an agent. Another myth that we see is that all real estate agents are the same. So we may all have the title of realtor, but here's the thing. We are all our own small businesses, every single one of us. And there are, just as with any small business, there are great business owners and there are not so good business owners. There are people that truly treat their real estate business like a business. They know the importance of marketing. They know the importance of branding. They know the importance of everything that goes into a normal business, whereas others, they just treat it as like a way to potentially get a paycheck and call it a day. So there are others who pour everything they have into it and are going to offer you so many more services versus others who maybe do this as part-time, or maybe they just don't have the knowledge or education to be able to offer the same kind of thing. So it's not a one size fits all in terms of what agents offer. Now, yes, can we all put it on the MLS? Absolutely. But there's so much more that goes into selling a home, as I'm sure you're aware by now, than just putting a home on the MLS. And what certain agents can offer versus others, it is going to be different. We are not one all in the same, and that is just true through and through and through. So that's another myth, is we're not all the same. It doesn't matter who you go with. It absolutely matters, because different agents get different results. Another common myth is that however much money you pour into a renovation is the exact same dollar amount that you could add on to the value of your home. That is not always true. Renovations are not treated as one and the same, and you can't count dollar for dollar for renovation to the value that it adds to your home. So if you are thinking about renovations, it's a really good idea to speak with your trusted real estate advisor before making renovations, because they can tell you whether the renovations that you're looking at making are going to be ones that make a difference in the price of your home or net you that ROI that you're looking for, or maybe they're not. A good rule of thumb is that kitchens, master beds, master bathrooms sell homes. So generally, if you're doing the kind of renovations in those 3 money rooms, most of the time that's going to yield results. But again, it all depends, especially if you're going for a very style specific look. That's another thing to talk about. So just remember that, say you put $35,000 into a renovation, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get $35,000 added on to the value of your home. It just depends. So again, before making any renovations, I definitely talk with your real estate agent to make sure that the money that you're going to spend is going to yield you the outcome that you're ultimately looking for. Another myth, and we did talk about this in the pricing, but it is so prevalent, it is worth talking about again, is that overpricing your home leaves room for negotiations. This is categorically false. I understand the mentality behind it, but when it comes to pricing a home, it's actually not the right mentality to have, because ultimately, if you remember the pricing video, or if you haven't seen it, go check it up here. But you want to remember pricing as a pyramid. So when you're pricing your home, market value is going to be right here in the middle. So you can expect all of everything from that line and below. That's your buyer pool. That's what can afford your home. If the higher you start to go above market value, as you can see with the triangle, obviously the buyer pool is going to get smaller. So these are things to keep in mind when it comes to pricing your home, because even if you overprice it, it's going to sit on the market longer. The longer it sits on the market, people are going to wonder what's wrong with it. Why is it not selling, especially in our Nashville real estate market? So when you price it just at or even slightly below market value, that drives more interest, wider buyer pool, and it has the opportunity to create a multiple offer situation, which can ultimately drive the price to where you want it to be. And then lastly, another myth that we see is that people think that if you get a really good first offer, that maybe you could have gotten more if you had priced it higher. So here's the thing, if you get that really great first offer, And again, there's a lot that goes into this. This is not a one size fits all, but if you get that first offer and it is a good, solid offer, that means that all that hard work you did leading up to going on the market, it's paying off. It means that you were priced right, you had marketed well, it was staged well, it showed well, it had the right digital marketing, it showed well online, it drove that interest. That's not to say that the first offer is always going to be the best offer. It's a situation. It depends on what that offer term looks like. Because I've had it with sellers where we had a fairly good first offer, but it didn't ultimately work out through negotiations. The second offer came in low. That third offer, it actually ended up netting them the highest price per square foot for the neighborhood. So it's not to say that you always have to take that first offer, because there have been several other situations where I've seen where sellers, you know, when I was on the other side, when I was on the buy side, where we made an offer and whether things fell apart during repair negotiations or whatever it may be, where we were going, when that person then had to go back on the market, and what they ended up with, that seller actually ended up selling for less. So there are times where that first offer is going to be the best offer and you work it to the best of your ability. There's going to be fewer times where it's better to wait. But again, it all depends on what the terms of the offer are. But if you do get a great first offer, that means that all of that hard work that you've done, all of the stuff that we talked about in the previous 7 videos, you did the right work and it's now paid off, which is ultimately what you want. So that was common seller questions and seller myths. If you have any questions or you're thinking about selling in the Middle Tennessee area, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. Again, my name is Caitlin Martin. I'll see you next time.